one of the first things you should understand and master in Excel is formula and cell referencing. In this video, I will show you the difference between relative, absolute, and mixed cell referencing, where and how to use them. Afterward, how to apply referencing across worksheets within the workbook. Let's begin. In the first example, I have a table containing a list of products, number of units sold, and unit price. I will calculate the revenue by multiplying the number of units by the unit price. So I will enter the formula in the cell equal C3 multiplied by D3. Now when I double click on the cell containing the formula, the cells and range of cells referenced included in the formula will be highlighted by a color to identify them. If I click on the highlighted range and move it, the formula referencing will update accordingly. Now I will drag the cell to apply the same equation to the rest of the product. If I double click on E4, you will see that the reference in the equation changed from C3D3 to C4D4. Same applies to the rest of the cells. This is what is called relative cell reference. When you drag, the cell reference moves relative to the cell containing the formula, no matter in which direction. We saw in the first case how the cells move with the formula. In this case, I would like to calculate the tax deduction from the revenue. The tax rate is 20% and in cell J2. This means each cell in the revenue column will be multiplied by the tax rate in J2. In other words, J2 shall be fixed in the formula and absolute. When you select the cell reference in the formula and click on the F4 keyboard shortcut, you will see that the $ is placed before the J, the column ID reference, and the 2, the row ID reference, fixing them both. Now I will click Enter and drag the formula. As you can see in all formula, J2 was an absolute, whereas the values from the revenue column were relative. So to summarize, you can fix a cell in a formula and make it absolute by putting a $ before the column and the row reference, manually or by pressing F4 once. When I cut a cell included in the formula and paste it into another location, Excel is smart enough to adjust the reference accordingly, even when the cell is marked absolute. So don't be scared if you need to reorganize your sheet structure, since the formulas should adjust automatically when you cut and paste cells. As mentioned before, by adding a $ before the column or row reference, you will fix them. In the example before, we fixed both columns and row positions and made the cell reference absolute in the formula. In some cases, you only need to fix either the row or the column in the cell reference. This is called mixed cell reference. I will show you in the next example how to fix the column reference and make the row reference relative. So now in this example, I will calculate the percentage of the country sales to total sales by dividing the singular sales value to the total sales value. And since the cells are pre-formatted as a percentage, the percentage will be calculated. In this formula, the sum of sales is an absolute value. It shall not move with the formula, so I will press F4 and make the cell absolute. Since the country sales data are listed in column I, row 3 to 6, the column needs to be fixed. The rows should move relative to the formula. Press F4 3 times to fix the column by putting a $ before the column reference. Now let's drag the formula down and test this. If I drag the formula to the right, you will see that we get the same calculation results since we fixed column I in the formula and made the rows relative. The formula calculates the value from the fixed column no matter to which direction I drag the formula. A good practice tip is to write the formula and check if it is working and correct. When you finish, decide which value should be absolute and in which direction you want to drag the formula. Then you can decide which column or row reference should be fixed and which kept relative. The reason for that is formulas in Excel can be very long and complicated. This way you will first focus completely on the formula and its results. Afterward, when you finish from the first step, you shift your focus to the referencing. Now for the next example, I will fix the rows and keep the column reference relative. I will calculate the tax deductions from the sum of revenue. I will multiply the sum of revenue by both tax rates. I will write the formula in cell N10 and drag the formula horizontally. In this formula, the sum of revenue is fixed and should not move with the formula. I will make it absolute by pressing F4 once. So the column reference shall move with the formula since the tax rates data are on different columns. The row reference shall be absolute since both data are on the same row. I will apply and test. When you reference across sheets, Excel will add the sheet's name before the cell reference in order to identify from which sheet it is. To fix either the row or the column just like before, put a $sign before the reference of the column or the row. You can drag the formula and the fixed reference will move with it. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.